Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am Irina Mark, a psychotherapist, astrologer, and believer in absolute and complete healing for everybody. Hopefully you saw my previous video on self-compassion. If you didn't, I would advise you to go back and look for it in my channel. But today I want to take it a step further and talk about something that is absolutely critical for everyone who wants to live authentic life in their true self. It's self-compassion to what we might call our own dark side. Maybe some of you do, some of you don't know the concept of a shadow, but this concept is a bit outside of a realm of our conversation today, but I will give you very brief rundown. All of us have certain sides inside of us that we really either don't know about or know about, but really don't want to accept that we are a certain way. So that's what we call our own dark side or shadow. Why being very kind and compassionate to this dark side is so important, especially for people who want to live in a complete wholeness and oneness with their authentic self. I want to read you a quote which comes from Carl Rogers, who is a father of humanistic therapy. The one who always said that we all have resources inside ourselves for self-healing, and we all internally know how to use these resources. So in this quote, he's talking about the relationship between therapist and client. He's talking about acceptance, okay? But we listen to this quote and we know and see how can we apply that to ourselves, okay? If I say that I accept you, but know nothing of you, this is a shallow acceptance indeed. And you realized that it might change if I actually come to know you. But if I understand you empathetically, see you, and what you are feeling and doing from your point of view, enter your private world and see that appears to you and still accept you, then this is safety indeed. And this climate, you can permit your real self to emerge and to express itself in its varied and novel formings as it relates to the world. So what does it say? If I pretend to love myself as some kind of a persona style, as some kind of illusory being that I want to create for myself, I don't feel safe with myself. I really cannot authentically know myself. Okay? But if I know all my so-called light and so-called dark side, if I really know the whole landscape of my internal world, and after that, after really deeply, truly, without illusions, knowing who I am, then I can honestly say to myself, I love myself and I accept myself. Then we create enough basis for internal safety to allow our true self to emerge. Okay? Our true self will feel safe to come out and start leading our life. Okay, so that's why self-compassion and acceptance, which come hand in hand, self-compassion and acceptance come hand in hand in looking into accepting your dark side. And again, if hopefully you see my previous video of self-compassion, if you didn't, go back in my channel, it's there. And in that video, I described 5 steps of how to work on kind of embodying self-compassion in yourself, to helping yourself to instill self-compassion as your second nature. Okay? In this video today, I want to go a little deeper and give you a rundown of how, or something that might be a little harder, is having self-compassion to certain darkness in us. And again, let me give you, without further ado, let me read you a little quote from everybody's, well, maybe not everybody's, but one of my favorites, John Lennon, who said, "We all have Hitler in us, but we also have love and peace." Translating in the language of issues that we are talking about now, we all have Hitler, meaning we all have hate in us, we all have anger in us, we all have even murderous intents in us. Why? By the simple virtue of being human beings. Okay? At the same time, we all have love in us. We all have joy in us. We all have happiness and desire to help in us. Why? By the simple virtue of being a human being. What part of ourselves we will decide to nurture is up to us. But that's absolutely what to nurture, how to nurture, it's a different subject. But before nurturing, before going further, we have to know what's in us. Who are we? Who are we really? And actually, 2 ways how we, usually the best way, again, to find out about your shadow, about what's really into your dark side, well, self-observation. If we can be detached enough, then we can do self-observation. If not, I would advise you to work with a therapist, coach. Astrology actually can be invaluable in looking into the dark side. So you can definitely have a consultation with a trusted astrologer. Or Jungian therapy is perfect for that. Or any kind of a therapy that you believe in and who will be willing to explore your essence with you. So that's a long way to discover your darker side. Here is a quick and dirty way for you to do it. Look at somebody. If something is really, really pisses you off, like really gets your blood boiled about somebody, look at yourself. It's in you. If your friend is habitually late, and every time she is late, you go, "Oh, I hate how inconsiderate she is. She doesn't respect me. I'm just gonna kill her when she gets in." If you react like that, definitely look in yourself. These inconsiderations of others and disrespect is in you. If your friend is late and you say, "Yeah, that's mildly annoying. Yeah, but she's what she is," or you'll say, "Well, maybe then I will just come half hour late myself." You're annoyed, but it's slight. Then inconsideration might not be in you. Okay, got it? And another way to know something which can be called is envy, gold in the shadow. Gold in the shadow actually going to be the subject of our next lecture. But another quick and dirty way is to find out something. See who you're really, really envious of. Okay? As example, you say, I just so envious of this woman who is the CEO of this corporation. She's self-made. She's a multi-millionaire. I can never do that. And see exactly what are you so envious of. Is that her income? Is that the way how she achieved it? Is that the way how she treats people? Okay? That's the way how she presents herself. Dissect exactly what you envision. And then look on your side, inside yourself. That is something in you is very, very deeply rooted that you either don't have access of or for whatever reasons. And it can be many, many reasons. You don't want to accept it in yourself. Okay? This is another way to know what's in your shadow. Okay, so once we know now how we see what's in our, and shadow, not necessarily darkness, it can be something that is hidden from the view. Okay, I didn't say it in the very beginning, but it can be shadow, it can be something that we really feel dirty and unacceptable, or and don't want to accept in ourselves, or something that might be quite acceptable to us, but hidden from our view. Okay? But this is easy to have self-compassion to that part, to the second part, but it's harder to the first part. So, now let's talk about the practical steps. How once we figure out what's in our darkness, and I'm saying quote unquote darkness because we really know it's all human expressions. Okay, so practical steps. How do we develop self-compassion there? First and foremost, acceptance that all feelings are normal human impressions. And again, I would advise you to listen first, absorb it, and in the end of the lecture, I will summarize it for you guys. So now just sit back, relax, and listen. First and foremost, acceptance that all feelings, with no acceptance, are normal human expressions. Feelings are just energy, nothing else. Okay? Acceptance, first part. Second part is knowing yourself, meaning having observer mind. Is observing and just observing and noticing without judgments your reactions and feelings to others, to certain events. Being honest about what I feel in this particular situations. Okay? Knowing yourself, observe mind. Step 3 goes deep validation that your feelings about this situation are normal, valid, and acceptable by you. Self-validation. Okay? Step 4, again, this is I wouldn't call it optional step, but this is something that might take longer time for you guys, is to really, once you accept it, know yourself, observed, validated, it's very important to know that I'm reacting this way. Is that two differentiation here? Am I reacting this way because it's real, it's in me, or it's a reaction of certain trauma, or that is traumatic reaction? And for everybody, that's my disclaimer here, for everybody, guys, if you know that you have a complex trauma, especially in your childhood. And a complex trauma, it's something that can be assessed by a licensed therapist. But you would know if you had lots and lots of painful events, if you were severely beaten, raped, or emotionally abused. You will know. I would advise you to really contact a trusted therapist and work through it, because in many cases our reaction cannot be really our reaction, that can be trauma reactions. So that would be very important part to let you know about. But for anybody who knows, yeah, I probably don't have the severe complex trauma, the part is really to maybe again work with a therapist or by yourself, by self-exploration, and say, this anger is in me, this jealousy is in me, where where they come from. Are they really mine, or they came from my ancestors? Okay, and what are they telling me? Because every feeling has a message. So there's lots of layers here, okay? Which again, outside of the scope of this mini lecture today. But remember, all the feelings, it can be our feelings, can be feelings that came from our ancestors, so that we can do ancestral release. There is a different subject. Okay, can be feelings which are trauma-based. Okay? But every feeling, no matter what it is, especially the feelings that are ours, that's why it's so important to distinguish, tell us something about ourselves. So it's to understand what this feeling is telling me, what is its message. Okay? And then, again, with a clear mind, decide, kind of make decision. This is something that I don't like about myself. Can I change it? If yes, go ahead and change it. If I cannot change it, for whatever reason, how can I accept it? And how can I channel this, what I might conceive to be a painful or negative feeling, productively? So just to give you an idea as example, anger. Lots of us consider anger as unhelpful feeling, or feelings that we should be ashamed of. Well, we already talked about it. It's just an energy. So that's very important concept to remember. All the feelings are just an energy. Okay? First part. Second part, anger can be transformed into creating a social movement. Anger can be transformed into creating a picture or poem. Anger can be transformed into passionate speeches towards something, okay? Anger can be transformed into going in the gym and getting a great workout in boxing. Okay, so anger can be transformed in so many different ways. Okay, so transformation. Okay, and the other steps, and then we validate ourselves, and we talk to ourselves in a very, very kind way. Okay, so let me summarize the steps for you. Okay, let me summarize them for you. First, acceptance and understanding that all feelings are normal human expressions. Feelings are just the energy, and we are not in charge of feeling the energy, but we are in charge of how to express the energy. Okay, so acceptance that all feelings are normal human expressions. Second part, observing ourselves from the side and just noticing with no judgment of our reactions. So noticing our reactions without judgment. Validating our own feelings as normal and acceptable. Okay? So we're coming from the whole to individual. All feelings for everybody are acceptable. Now step 3, our own feelings are absolutely normal and absolutely acceptable. Part 4 goes deeper. Understanding of self. Are these feelings are trauma feelings, the feelings that acquired during, that are normal feelings, that is a normal reaction to the situation, or these feelings come from our ancestors. Okay, so which option is that? Okay, and if it's normal, our normal reaction to situation, what is this feeling is telling me? If it's my trauma related feeling, then the work with trauma is really important. If it's my ancestral feelings, there is a way to do ancestral release, which is outside of the scope of this mini session. Okay, and part 5 is talking to yourself in the situation and helping yourself with compassion to either alleviate the pain from painful feelings or just stay with yourself with open heart. And in my previous video of self-compassion, I gave a very detailed breakdown of how to compassionately talk to yourself and how to compassionately accept yourself. Okay? So hopefully the guys, it has been helpful. And let me give you actually, before I go, let me give you an actual example how we can do it. How we can transform how we can talk to ourselves and transform our feelings and accept our feelings. Let's say my boss called me in the office and screamed at me. I'm coming out and I'm fuming. I hate him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm so mad at him. And then I'm talking to him. Oh, what kind of a horrible person am I? I should be all kind and forgiving. And here am I experiencing this feeling. So I either will go block, say, no, I'm not angry. I'm all cool. Or I'll say, oh, I'm such a horrible person. I am not spiritual at all. I'm nothing. Why I'm even experiencing this anger? So the way to approach it, stop right there. I'm noticing. First of all, I'm validating to myself. All anger is a normal feeling. All feelings are just human expression. Second part, noticing. I am experiencing anger at my boss. Okay, anger is here. No judgment, no, just an observation. Third part, I'm validating it to myself. Yeah, it's very reasonable to feel angry when somebody insults you. It's absolutely okay for me to feel anger. Okay? Then I might say, is this anger appropriate for this situation? Or does it come from any trauma? Does it come from ancestors? And then the situation, I would decide, yeah, anger is absolutely appropriate for this situation. This is my feeling. I'm reacting in the moment to something that just occurred to me. Okay, so we go to our next step of talking kindly to ourselves. And I will say something like that. I am validating my feelings. I'm very angry with my boss. And this is I have the right to be angry. What do I need right now to make it easier on myself? Maybe I need a self-hug. Maybe I need to go in the other room and scream. What do I need? And then I go and do it. With showing self-compassion and acceptance to the self. But at the same time, we can say it's certain if I have a desire to go and scream back at my boss, which might not be productive for my future career employment, I might say something like that to myself. Of course you want to go and scream. Of course you hurt. But that's not the best way to show your feelings. It must be really painful, but we're not going to go scream at your boss. But I absolutely acknowledge and validate you need to scream. Maybe go in the room and scream. And then if you decide, you can write a letter to ER, or you can go back to your boss and tell him that that you need to be treated, how you need to be treated, but do it in a polite and firm manner with a clear head. Okay? So that's how we do it. Hopefully it was helpful, my friends. If you have any questions, please send me a note. And you can always go on my website, which is in a banner, irinamark.com. Contact me, schedule a free discovery call if you're willing to work on your true self, on yourself some more. With all my love. See you later.